Get him, hit him with a pose. Yeah. Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy HD here, and welcome to another YouTube video. Alright, so before we get into this video, guys, I do want to take a moment again to tell you guys thank you for all the amazing support. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we can keep this going. We are trying to hit 5,000 subscribers on the channel, and we're getting pretty close. So if you guys haven't already and you guys are enjoying these videos, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, showing your amazing support. Alright guys, so today we are going to be bringing it back. I did make an older video of this one, but it has been like a month plus now, and there have been lots of additions to the center back list in FC Mobile. So we're going to be going over my top 10 current FC Mobile head-to-head meta center backs, and we're also going to be going over 5 additional honorable mentions. Now, before we get into this video, I do want to let you guys know all these cards that I'm listing are my opinion and my opinion only. So if I don't list any of the center backs that you currently have on your team and that center back is performing very well for you, I advise to keep that center back or keep those center backs on your team. Okay, so with this list, any of these center backs that you use, they're not guaranteed to 100% perform for you. These are just center backs that I've played against or play with that I have found they're pretty decent in the game. Okay, so with that being said, without further ado, we're going to get right into the video, starting with my number 10. All right, so our number 10 on this list is going to be none other than Tapsoba. Okay, so on my second account, I have used a different version of this card, and I was hoping that EA would bring out a version of this card, and they did. Okay, this card is actually very good. He is 6'4", but in game, he has such a big frame. He is a notable center back, and you do see him. Okay, not only is he 6'4", but he's on the faster side for a center back. I do think this card is a bit of a cheap beast and a bit underrated. Okay, so for people who already use this card and love using this card, he needs to be talked about a little bit more. Going with that 101 defending and 99 physical at 6'4", pretty much 100 physical. Pace is very good. Looking at his traits, the only downside I would say is he has the medium work rate, and he does have the power header trait. Okay, so with this medium work rate, you want to run him alongside another center back with either medium high or low high, so that way he does have coverage. Okay, and looking at his transfer value, he is pretty decently cheap. He's going for around 22 million coins, and you can probably get him for less. Now we're gonna move on to our number 9. All right, you guys, number 9 is going to be none other than Alessandro Nesta. All right, so I have used another version of this card on my second account, necessarily not this one, but I've also played against this one in head-to-head, and guys, he's actually pretty good. His 93 pace, he's one of the faster center backs in game. 103 defending, again with a 99 physical. Yeah, he's an amazing card, you guys. Okay, so looking at his work rate, he does have the medium high work rate. He is a team player, and he also has the power header. Okay, so these are traits you want to see on your center backs. Also look at his transfer value. He is a little bit on the expensive side, but not too expensive. He's going for around 48 mil, but you can probably get him for around like 38 or 39 mil. Absolutely amazing card. Yeah, his standing tackle is very good, and for a center back, his dribbling is pretty high. So I'm not saying you should be dribbling with this card, but with his dribbling being a little bit higher, that just means his ball control is a little bit better than most center backs in game. Okay, now we're going to move on to my number 8. All right, so my number 8, we're going to give it to Kohler. Okay, so before we go into his rating, there is going to be a 101 center back coming out after this video will be released, okay, or maybe not. Okay, we are all thinking that is going to be Kohler It's going to be a 101 version of him coming out for the Retro Stars. But yeah, I do believe this card needs another version, and this Retro Stars version is going to be absolutely mental, because just looking at the 97, he does have 87 pace already, so I can guess that the Retro Stars version is going to be in like the 92s or 93s, maybe 94 for pace. 103 defending and 102 physical. Now he is a bit on the smaller side, and looking at his traits, he does have the medium high work rate, dives in the tackle, and power header. This guy is an absolute unit. I have played against this card, not as much anymore, but the time that I did play against him, he was very annoying. So I do feel like he's going to be a great addition to some of your squad, and he's a bit on the underrated side. Not a lot of people use him. Kohler is an absolute unit. Looking at his price for a 97, he's very much on the cheaper side, so he'll be a great addition to your squad. I can back up this card. He's absolutely amazing. Moving on to our number 7. All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 7 is going to be none other than Lucio. Now, I'm going to give it to this 97 version of Lucio, guys. I have tried the 98 version of the Lucio, and guys, I do not like the 98 version. He was absolutely horrible for me. But this 97 version of Lucio, other than his pace is a bit on the lower side, but other than his pace, this card is absolutely amazing. 101 defending, 99 physical, 6'2", and he's an absolute unit. So this is one of the center backs that has a little bit more traits. So powerful driven free kicks, dive in the tackle, leadership, power header. He has it all. Okay, so I will oblige for this card. He is going to be our number 7. Absolute unit of a card. Again, he's a bit on the cheaper side, so he's around 30 million coins, so you can absolutely pick him up for maybe 25 to 26 mil. There's not really much to say about this card, guys. Looking at his stamina, he does have a 4.5-star stamina, almost 5-star stamina, and yeah, he's a pretty decent card. So if you're looking for a Brazilian center back to join your squad and help you tighten it up in the back, I think this is absolutely your man. So now we're going to be going on to our number 6. So once again, we're going to give number 6 to none other than Antonio Rudiger. He is one of the fastest center backs in game. Absolute unit. Probably one of the strongest center back in game. Okay, so this is the 98 Champions League version Rudiger. Looking at his stamina, he does have a 4-star stamina. That is okay for a center back. There's nothing wrong with having 4-star for a center back. Once you have the 3.5 going on, then that's when there's a bit of a problem. But he's 94 pace, 105 physical. When you see this guy 6'3", 187, he is very much in game. You can see him in game. He's on the bigger side. Once again, guys, looking at the work rate, Rudiger does have a high work rate just because he likes to push up a lot. But with this version of a card, I didn't really find a problem with it, and I thought he was very annoying. Every time I'm playing against this card, you can absolutely see his physical. He has insane physical. And I'm hoping that EA will be releasing another version of his card in the future. I do think so with the retro event that is currently out. They're probably going to give Rudiger a card for the retros because a lot of people use this version or previous version of his card, and I do think he deserves one. But looking at his market value, he's around 49 mil. You can probably pick him up for maybe the low 40s into the high 30s. Absolutely amazing card. Yeah, there's really not much to go around with this card. Insane. Now moving on to our number 5. All right, you guys, so our number 5 is going to be none other than the 99 Virgil van Dijk with the 4-star stamina, 102 defending, 102 pace. He also has a pretty high dribbling as well. Looking at his work rate, medium high, power horse, leadership, and long passer. Okay, so I'm giving it to this 99 version of Van Dijk. I have played against this Van Dijk, and he has been on game every time I play against him. That's why he's in our number 5 spot. But would I use this Virgil van Dijk? Me personally, I don't know, but I've been trying to stay away from Virgil van Dijk cards, probably because of that free Van Dijk card that they gave us. He was a bit inconsistent for me, but this version of Virgil van Dijk I found to be he's very consistent. 6'4", over 200 pounds, so you do notice him in game. He's an absolute bully, very strong, and he's a bit on the expensive side now, so he's 100 mil for a base version of his card. Absolutely not a bad card, you guys, and we all know it's Virgil van Dijk, and that's why he's getting getting the number 5 spot. Absolute unit in the back. And now we're going to be moving on to our number 4. All right, so for our number 4 spot, I'm giving it to none other than Rio Ferdinand. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I have not tried this card, and I don't think I've faced against him too much. I've probably faced against him in versus attack the most, rather than head to head. Okay, but giving him the number 4 spot because I just know, looking at his pace, he's 95 base pace is absolutely insane. 107 defending, 101 physical. Okay, he has one of the highest defending in the game and one of the highest pace in the game. At 6'2", 192 pounds, pretty tall. You can notice him in game. Looking at his traits, he has leadership and power header. And then the only reason this card is not higher on the list, or I should have probably put him in honorable mention, is because of his medium work rate. Okay, so not being a 101, and I do know it is Ferdinand, so I don't. There's just some cards in game where the work rate don't matter as much. Looking at that R9 most of the time. But yeah, so with this Ferdinand card, I think the reason a lot of people are staying away from him is because of his work rate being medium. Now with medium, sometimes cards are inconsistent with putting in tackles or going for the ball. But yeah, I do think this card still deserves the 4th spot. I'm going with the stamina 4.5 star. These stats are just mental, and I've known Rio Ferdinand from the past in this game, and he's been an absolute unit, so that's why he's getting our number 4. Now going on to our number 3. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, going on to our number 3, it is going to be no other than Paolo Maldini. Okay, so I've mentioned him earlier when I was going over Kohler. So Paolo Maldini, I do think he's going to get a Retro Stars card, and he will probably deserve one because this card is absolutely insane. Probably one of the top best center back in game right now. High pace, high defending, and the physical is a bit on the lower side. He is 6'1", but in game you don't really notice that. He has the dive and the tackle and team player trait. Doesn't have power headers, but don't get me wrong, you guys, he does win those ball in the air, and a lot of people can speak for him on that. His work rate is medium high, and he's just an absolute beast center back. 4.5 star stamina. You cannot go wrong with this card. Going into his transfer value, he's a bit on the expensive side now. Actually, 150 mil isn't even that expensive anymore. If you're not a hardcore player, but if you play this game a lot, you know, 150 mil, everyone should be having at least, or will status, or just people who've been playing the game for a while. Okay, so for his base card, 150 mil, you can probably pick him up for 130 or something like that, or maybe in the mid 140s to low 140s. But yeah, absolutely insane card, you guys. That's why he's getting our number 3 spot. Now going on to our number 2. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, our number 2 spot is going to none other than Vincent Kompany. Now, it was between Vincent and Maldini, and Kompany is a newer card that just came out from the retro event, and I absolutely am in love with this card right now. He's brilliant to use. Okay, so his pace is 91. Okay, obviously he's a little slower than Maldini, but in game you don't really notice that. Okay, so being 6'3", 103 defending and 103 physical, so these are things that kind of made me push Kompany to our number 2 spot, and I currently have him on my team. He's doing absolutely amazing. His traits are dive and a tackle, medium high work rate. Yeah, this card is an absolute unit. Okay, so if you can afford this card, or you've packed this card and you're wondering if you should rank him up, the answer is absolutely yes. Going looking at his stamina, he does have a 4-star stamina, and guys, just remember he's a center back, so the 4-star stamina is absolutely okay. And then looking at his transfer value, he's a bit cheaper than Maldini, to be honest, and I don't understand why. He's actually not too expensive to pick up, and he's an absolute unit, you guys. Okay, so absolute unit. So Vincent Kompany gets our number 2, and here we go with our number 1. So our number 1 for me, and me personally, is going to be none other than Fabio and Cannavaro. There is nothing in this game this card cannot do. Oh my, he's insane. His stand tackle is insane. Positioning, insane. This card has saved me so many times, guys. Okay, so one of the highest pace in the game, probably the highest defending in the game, 104 physical for someone being 5'9" is absolutely insane. Looking at his traits, he has solid player, dives in the tackle, leadership. Looking at his work rate, he has low, high, the A plus of all work rates. Okay, absolutely insane cards. 4-star stamina as a center back, which is absolutely fine. And guys, I cannot tell you guys enough, going over his market pricing is only 121 mil. You can probably get him for the low 100, so maybe 105 to 110. And also another thing I wanted to talk about is his height. Okay, so Cannavaro is standing at 5'9". Now this is a problem for a lot of people. Okay, because every time I'm mentioning Cannavaro is the best, the question I get is, what about his height? Ladies and gentlemen, obviously sometimes your center backs are going to lose headers, even if they're 6'4", 6'5", they do lose headers. Cannavaro absolutely wins headers, like, and for an insane amount. For his height, he wins a lot of header, even though he doesn't have power header. Okay, so he's the best center back in game. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Okay, so this is going to be our number 1. Now guys, we are going to go into our top 5 honorable mentions, so starting with number 5. All right, so right away, our first honorable mention, taken first on the list, is going to be William Saliba. This card is absolutely mental. I don't think there has been a card of Saliba that year released where he hasn't been good. I don't see it. Okay, so he has the 92 pace, 103 defending, 103 physical. Absolutely amazing card. He does have very high dribbling, so 92 pace, 90 dribbling is absolutely insane for a center back. He doesn't have any traits, but in game, his standing tackle, his awareness, everything is there. I do think he should have maybe leadership trait, but that's just me though. Going into his work rate, he does have the medium high work rate, standing at 6'4", and his market value is standing around 119 mil, so you can probably get him for around maybe 110 or lower. Yeah, he's an absolutely amazing center back, 4-star stamina, not bad for a center back. And yeah, so this is going to be our first on the honorable mention list. Sorry you guys, not the 5th, the first one on the honorable mention list. And now we're going to go to our number 2. All right, so number 2 on the honorable mention is going to be none other than Schlotterbeck. Okay, so I have used another version of this card, and this card is the only version that has a changed work rate. His other versions have high. So this card is the only version that has the medium high work rate. So he's going to be number 2 on the honorable mentions list. He does have the dive in the tackle and power header, which is absolutely amazing, and he is 6'3", so you do notice him in game. For being 6'3" and this quick, absolutely amazing card. 105 defending, 106 physical. So he is, I think when it comes to base physical, he might be the strongest center back in game. I'm not sure, don't quote me on it, but I think he might be our strongest center back. Okay, absolutely amazing card. With these previous version that I've used, I have noticed his work rate high. Sometimes he does go a little bit too high, and then sometimes he's a bit too aggressive. So maybe with the change to the medium high work rate, he's absolutely insane. The reason I'm giving him 3rd on this list for our honorable mention, that weak foot as well, guys. Sometimes weak foot does matter. That 2-star weak foot is not really sitting well with me. And then looking at his transfer value, he's a bit more on the expensive side, so I do feel like you can get your money's worth using other center backs rather than him. But he's an absolute great center back. He's just on the expensive side, so almost 180 mil 180 mil coins. You can probably pick him up for maybe the mid 160s. Yeah, now we're gonna move on to our number 4. Hey guys, so number 4 in the honorable mention is gonna go to Manuel Akanji. Now I have used this card, I've used them recently, and my god, is this card is amazing, you guys. Okay, so 91 pace, 103 defending, 102 physical, absolute unit. What the absolute unit this card is. One thing I notice a lot about this card is his recovery rate. Again, I don't know, it says 91 base pace, but Akanji's recovery rate, if you beat this card, his ability to recover on the ball and just run back is insane. And his physical, you can feel his physical. Maybe it's because he's a big dude, but he's an absolute amazing card. Looking at his traits, he does have dive in the tackles. Again, he has a medium work rate, so sometimes
maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
He will be There's once in a while where I've seen him like out of positions, or he gets beat when he's going for a tackle or something like that, but it's once in a while. Okay, but that recovery rate is what puts him on my list. He's absolutely insane when it comes to the recovery rate and his standing tackle. And then looking at his transfer value, he's up there. So he's around 75 mil, but you can get him for probably 65 or less. Okay, so absolutely amazing card. And now we're gonna go into our fifth and final honorable mention. All right, so our fifth and final honorable mention is a card that I haven't tried nor played against, but I have used previous version of him, and he's absolutely been amazing. I do think this card is very much underrated, and that's gonna be Matthias de Ligt. Yeah, guys, just looking at this card, he is a card that I really wanted to try out. High pace, good defending, great physical, and then looking at his straights and work rate, he does have dive into tackles, long passer, which I don't think it matters too much, but that medium high work rate, I do feel like he's strong. He's a bully. Going into his transfer value, he's up there as well. You can probably pick him up for around maybe 55 mil or a little less or a little more. But yeah, he's an absolutely insane card, going at the 4-star stamina, and yeah, and it is a card, once again, that I did want to try out. He looks absolutely good because I have used previous versions. So this is going to be our fifth and final honorable mention. Now, if you guys are wondering if Laurent Blanc should be on this list, guys, Laurent Blanc would have been on this list, but man, Laurent Blanc and I think we've fallen apart. My previous center back video that I made about Laurent Blanc, I did have him on like in my top 5, and he's absolutely falling off. I don't know what's going on with this Laurent Blanc card, but he is not the same anymore, and that has been like a troll following this Laurent Blanc, even with previous cards that he's had, where they'll be doing absolutely amazing, and then all of a sudden he's showing signs of just inconsistencies. Okay, so this card would have been on the honorable mentions list, but I decided not to put him on there just because I haven't been really happy with his performance, and I've been seeing more and more people coming up and saying, yeah, Laurent Blanc might have been nerfed, or is Laurent Blanc nerfed? But I do see the maxed out Laurent Blanc, so the rank 5 Laurent Blanc, he still does really well, but I just didn't want to put this card on the list just because he's not him. Okay, so that is gonna be it for this video, you guys. Once again, if you guys did enjoy this video, do drop a like, and before I leave, I want to let you guys know any card that's on the honorable mention can replace any cards in the top 10. Okay, so I just put some of the cards in the top 10 just because I want of budgeting, and I want some of the cards to be affordable for some for everyone. So yeah, that's why some of the cards are a lot on the cheaper side, and some are on the expensive side, some are on the medium side. If I wanted to make a top 10 list of just the top highest rated center backs, I would have done just that, but I do feel like the list that I've created will give everyone a chance to try out whichever center back they want. But yeah, that's gonna be it, you guys. Okay, so if you guys did enjoy that video or enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Peace.